and shine. It's negative 20 out, Mother Nature, you. Anyway, as you can tell by the bags under my eyes, we've been doing a lot of work in here. The renovations, the remodel, it's almost complete. We just gotta keep moving. Whoops. This past weekend we pressed out this fake beam you can see with lights. This video is going to be a little bit different than my typical format. I want to do a little bit of a voiceover for you so you get the idea and all the information needed, mistakes I made, successes we had, materials used, that kind of stuff without bogging down too much with me just talking to the camera. So without any further ado, please enjoy.
We started out by ripping our 16-foot rough sawn pine down to length. The beam is 8 inches wide and we wanted it to be 6 inches tall to give it a bit of a contrast and look like it was setting up into the ceiling. We started out wanting 45-degree miters to connect the three pieces, but then realized that could be tricky with our 32-foot span we needed to cross and only a 40-foot house to do it in. Ali decided it might be a better idea just to use butt joints and keep it simple. We then made some spacers just to get the idea of what this beam was going to look like. We clamped them together, and this also made it easier to glue this thing up. With 16 feet, you really need all the help you can get. We raised it up, put some stickers underneath, and then we were able to slide in with some glue. Just one line of glue all the way down the length, making sure to put it on the inside so any squeeze out would be on the inside of the beam. We then rolled it onto its side, put the two pieces together, and then continued to brad nail this thing together, all the way down about 8 inches apart. It helps to have two people, one to line up the boards and one to do the nailing. Ali helped out. Here's a look at what the inside of the beam looks like. This is going to be the piece that sits over the existing structure of the house. We then stained it with a dark walnut stain. Only one coat, because this is rough, it really soaked in all that stain. We ended up with a really dark, chocolatey, old looking beam. We wanted the beam to sit around the existing wall so it gave the look that it was really built into the house. So we just cut that opening out by hand. We then drilled 3-inch holes that we could set junction boxes into in order to mount the lighting that was going to go on this. Now I didn't show the installation of the lighting, but I did show them in the end. A simple hole saw is all this took. I then put some spacers up on the existing truss. What that did is brought that opening up to the 5 inches that was the inside of the beam. We didn't go the length of these, I didn't think it was necessary, it just needed to be strong enough to hold the beam itself up. I screwed these on, 1.5 inches on one side and 1/2 inch on the other. Ali put some spar urethane on our beam, this gave it some protection and also a nice shine. And I approve. This was the trickiest part, getting this thing in place. At 16 feet, it's really heavy, and it's also a nice exact fit. That way it looks like it was built into the house. We worked together, brought it up at the same time, and then just used brute force and ignorance to pound it into place. And it's stuck. Ali wasn't quite tall enough to get her aside, so we did a little switcheroo halfway through.
No worries.
This is definitely a 2-person job, if not 3. Brad nailed it in place, going right along where we put those spacers, and as you can see, we marked them by tape. This way, when the beam was in place, you could still see where your stickers were, and you could still see where any existing wiring was, making sure not to hit it. We then installed some lights, put the light bulbs in, and it was time for a test. And it worked. This gave a really cool country feel to the beam. And of course, if there's no Instagram pictures to prove it, it didn't happen. This is the final product. We're really happy with it. We also are going to do some trim with the same material in order to really bring the whole look together.
Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something from this video. If you like this video, go ahead and like it. Subscribe so you can follow along with the rest of our remodel projects. Stay tuned for project videos. Remember, always trust your guide. See you, bye.